Hey everybody, this is Tony, and I have Miss Beverly Jones here today. How are you?
I am doing great. Tony, how
Good.
about you?
I'm all right. Now I know that you are an author, and I see you have your book here, which we will talk about in a minute. But I just want you to explain a little bit about yourself and what you do to people who may not have come across you.
What do I do to people who run across me? Well, I am, historically, I'm a computer geek that I came out of that industry and began studying about meditation and got fascinated by the phenomenon called The Secret and this concept of asking for what you want and receive it. So I started doing a lot of research, and in the research I learned meditation techniques, and then I went on, because meditation is so close to hypnosis, I became a hypnotist.
Okay.
And I don't use that most of the time. I use deep meditation, but when people actually come to me, they're looking to change something in their life. They're looking to resolve a problem, and
Mhm.
what I do is help them figure out, okay, what's the issue behind it. And the best way is to give an example of a woman who was overweight and couldn't understand. You know, she'd been through a whole bunch of different things and was looking at gastric bypass, which I don't recommend, but
Mhm.
backwards and backwards into her life, and went back to where she was 8 years old and really discovered the root of her issue. So I help people discover the root of the issue, resolve the root of the problem, and it goes and it helps them move forward in their life.
Right. Right. Okay.
People
That sounds good to me.
things in their life that they be struggling with, and teach them a better way of living, actually.
Right. Now, what prompted you to start, doing things to help people, fix problems in their life?
Well, basically, I've done it all my life. Friends, family, even strangers wind up talking to that I'm easy to talk to, and people would wind up talking to me. And the best thing I could ever do is really give them examples of things in my life. And
Mhm.
I believe that I have been blessed with a lot of different things that have happened to me that will
Right.
help me relate to other people. No, I haven't had major tragedy and those kinds of things, but that doesn't preclude a person from being able to feel empathy and being able to give an objective view as to, how we can help you make that change, or see externally. And I think you understand the fact when somebody is in the middle of an issue or in the middle of something, they can't see it, right? You can't see
Right.
the forest for the trees. And you need somebody outside of that forest to be able to look and move the trees out of the way to help you
Mhm.
resolve that issue or whatever it is. If you want to become great, or you want to be better, or you want to become a better person, a better athlete, a better speaker, a better mother, or whatever, wife, but you need somebody to help you see who you are right now
Mhm.
and help you make the necessary changes or make the necessary decisions or go to school or do whatever is necessary to help you become that person you want to be.
Right. Right. Okay, so now you are an author, and you have your book Christianity, the Law of Attraction, and the One Command.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what prompted you to write this book?
Well, like I talked about, the idea of the secret came out, and I had a friend who made me read the book because I told her, so I saw a little bit on Oprah, and it was about this thing called the Law of Attraction, and I never got it to work for me, and blah, blah, blah. She made me read the book. And I
Right.
said, okay, I'll read it till I see the words Law of Attraction. And I did, and I showed it to her in her book. She said, keep reading. And I'm so glad that she did, because it opened my eyes to a different, well, I don't want to say different world, but a different way of thinking. And then
Right.
I
Right.
started thinking about, well, how do I speak, and how do I what do I say? And do I really, the way my life is now, is it really a reflection of my thoughts and ideas that I've had in the past? So I started researching that, and then I went on and I got some other books by other people, and then I came across this book called The One Command, and I started reading it, and it resonated with me. However, as many books in this genre, it was outside of Christianity, right? And it's not, but I'm also over my years, just because it is out, somebody else is talking about it, doesn't necessarily mean that a Christian can't do it. So I started researching the scriptures, and I was finding that the words in the scriptures, and then I was looking at the other books, and well, that means the same thing. We're just saying it in a different way. Or different. So here Christ said, do this. Okay, let me pay attention to this. There's more people out there who are just like me, who were saying, well, I don't know, is this of the God devil, or am I supposed to do this? And can I? And then so I started researching, and I said, there's a lot of people out there who are just like me, who are afraid, or don't know whether they should do this or not, or maybe they're doing it but not telling their friends, right? So by writing the book, I put it all out there. I put myself out there. I put, it's like, hey, I'm doing this. I believe it. And here's where the scriptures are that tells you you can do these things. And here's why. And it is everybody, because the law of attraction is the law. And Matthew, it says, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be opened with you. And that's Matthew 7:7, but 7:8 says, for everyone who asks, it is given. Well, sometimes one person said, well, what does that mean for Christians? I said, it's a law. And when it's a law, that means it affects everybody. Just like gravity affects everyone. I don't care, who you are and what you believe. If I drop this book, it's going to hit the floor. That's right. And so the law of attraction is there, and it is a law. And following the scriptures and following what we've been told to do, these things don't life. And like many people, I didn't see there are a few words that I might say or something in passing I might say. It doesn't hurt. Well, it does. Because whatever you say, it shows up in your life. So if you're talking bad about folks, it'll show up in your life. If you are talking about your job is miserable, right? And I was telling another gentleman, I said, look, better job, then you start write down job it is that you want. What is it that you love to do? Would you like to be in a cubicle doing such and such and such, or would you like to be outside? What is your job? You want, you write that out. But in the meantime, in the job you're on, you become the best you could be. No arguing, no talking people down. You start doing that as best as you can do. And this has happened to several people, well, lots of people. They start a job that they hate, that they've been, dragging into work, but they get up in the morning, get to work on time, and they start doing the best they can do. And what happens, people see them becoming best that they can do, and those people may know you don't like that job.
Right.
But you're willing to work hard in this job. Let me talk to so-and-so, and there's this job opening coming. Or you are so good in that job, you start building skills that you wouldn't have had before. When you say, well, I didn't do that because I didn't hear. Exactly how it happened, but it happened so many times.
Right.
To tell you, you're working for your next job in the job that you're in. You're being prepared for your next position. So the idea here of writing the book to let people know that these things are real. I mean, people have heard their pastors and their friends and their, other people talk about what goes around comes around, and people say it all the time, but they don't really believe it.
Right.
Okay?
So, for people who have never probably heard of you or may have never heard of the book, when they go and find this book, if they happen to come up off it by mistake and they see this book and they say, I want to read this book, what do you want the gist of it to be, of what you want them to get out of the book, period?
I want them to change their life. And in the book, when I was writing the book, I couldn't think about how, most book reads from back to front, but a lot of my stuff was not back to front kind of reading.
Right.
So I went into the meditation and I said, and I asked, how should I put this book together? And basically it said each chapter is independent except for the first couple. Like the first chapter is what is the law of attraction. The second chapter is what is the one command, right? Those are two main ones you need to read. But then I'd say read chapter 3, which is ask and given. We talk about faith. We talk more about acting as if it's true and more mechanics kind of thing. But after that, you can read the book any way you want. You say, as a man thinketh. So I talk about our thought and how does belief and faith affect our lives. And you can answer that. People have heard about limiting beliefs, the chatter that goes on in your head, the programs that you run. I can't be that good. I'm not as good as that person. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. I don't. Those kinds of things. So there's a chapter on limiting beliefs. And in that chapter, I talk about ways to find out what those beliefs are, because sometimes we don't know what they are. Right? We wind up and go, oh. So I talk about those ways of actually going through and making a determination. So I have exercises in there, ways to identify and change your beliefs.
Right.
Through dreams, discovering what they are, having a journal, doing life scripting. So the idea here is I want you to change your life for the better by believing that all you have to do is ask, believe that you have received, and be thankful for all that and you say has happened, because you act as though it has already occurred, because once you ask, it belongs to you. The doubt, confusion, thoughts of I don't know if this will happen or not. This has happened to me. And so the one command is beautiful in the fact that it helps you ask for what you want in a way that you believe, you visualize that it's already true, and you're thankful for it. And if you're nervous or scared, because one of the things I do is I don't know how, I am peaceful and calm and know that all will occur for my highest and best good. That's the command in itself. Now, it's surrounded by meditation, but I don't know how and it doesn't matter, I don't know how I have the rent money next month. I don't know how I make my car payment. I only know it is so now, right? And with the help of, and for Christians, it's with the help of the Holy Spirit. And we go through and we do that. So in the book, it gives you, I have full-out meditations all the way through the book, and I have a free gift. So in the back of the book, when I talk about some contact information, there's a link to Christians.commandingyourlife.com so that you can go and download a meditation specifically for doing the one command, plus some other things for reading the book. So so the idea is I want you to change your life. I want you to start recognizing how you speak. when you do that. Plus, I give help because I have a free teleconference twice a month on the first and third Thursday that people can in on, and we talk to you one time. So it's $100 and some an hour, but I'm here to you for free, with
right.
difference. I mean, sometimes there's 10 people on the call, sometimes there's one. And imagine that person when it's one person on the call. I give them a full hour of conversation and help them, decide basically what it is that they need to do in their life. So I things because I have been very blessed. And so
that's right.
By being blessed, you get the book, you learn that type of thing. I help you step by step. On my website, my blogs are not, buy this, do this. This is, here's some more deep information for you. So I tell people, start with my old blogs and move forward because I am teaching all the way through on that. So it's a gift of changing your life and making it become the life that you've always wanted.
All right.
I was having go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, this is your first book, right?
Well, it's actually my second book, but it's my first book in this genre.
Okay. Now, are you writing any more books currently?
Yes, I'm writing a second book. Hopefully it'll be out this fall. It's called The 10 Commands for Abundant Living. So again, it's even more so. Now, it's not 10 individual commands. It's 10 areas. And then I talk about different methods. So this book is concentrating on the one command. But I've learned many other different methods of meditation. So I talk, and I've developed my own. So I talk about 5 different methods that you can use within doing these 10 commands. So it's dealing with your health, spirituality, dealing with trust, dealing with family and friends and work, performance. So sports people use the techniques to improve their performance. There, so science has proven that not only practicing the right way, but also mentally practicing also is helpful. In fact, they found that just practicing takes you to one level, just mentally doing it as though, it's like doing a basketball and mentally doing a perfect jump shot or a perfect free throw, right? And it goes in the basket and your muscles do it mentally. They found each of those are good, but when you combine them and you practice physically and then you took time and practice doing it perfectly mentally, your performance level increased tremendously. So I help people do that too. So the book is going to cover, I haven't decided whether it's going to be 10 commands or whether they're 7. Both numbers are complete. So I have to decide which way I'm going to go on that yet.
All right. Now, is there anything else that you want people to know about you or about your work or about, anything that you do?
Anything that I did. Well, one of the things, and I've said this before when we talked about how I can help people, and I said my job is to make you cry. And one person said, what do you mean make me cry? I said, because when you cry, when I'm asking you questions and keep asking you and probing, when the tears start to flow, that means I've hit the core of you. I've gotten to what is really causing you an issue. An example was a woman who was having issues with her husband and family over certain things. And we started talking, and, one of my questions, and this is what people can ask themselves when they're experiencing something and they experience that feeling inside, ask yourself, when was the first time I felt like this? So you're afraid, or you're angry, or you feel dissed, right? Somebody has just kind of embarrassed you or they dismissed you. When was the first time you felt this way? And it's not in this situation. When was the first time you felt this way? Well, with her, she said, well, I was a teenager. I said, what happened? And she told me this story. I said, okay, but that wasn't the first time you felt this way, because my intuition is very good. Right. What was the first time? And she went back, and it was something her mother said to her when she was 8 years old. And the tears started to flow, right? And then we started working on that, and that's when we formed the appropriate meditation, because what I do is get to your subconscious mind, because your subconscious is what drives you. So you think you're making decisions. The decision was made by your subconscious before your conscious mind started talking. So I get to your subconscious, and we go and we talk to that subconscious and change the program. You can't take away the thing that bothers you, because you're going to refill it with something. It's like sand on a beach. You dig a hole in the sand, and it's there, and then all of a sudden it starts filling right back into the hole. Well, what I do is dig that hole in the sand and take out that negative programming that you have, and then we reset with positive programming so that it makes a permanent mental and emotional change in your life. So that's what I do when I'm personally working with people one-on-one. And then I do that in a group setting also, but you've got to be willing to open up within a group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, please let everyone know how they can reach you, whether via Facebook or, your websites or whatever else. Please let everyone know how they can reach you.
Okay. You can reach me on my website at commandingyourlife.com. So that's taking control. commandingyourlife.com. So Facebook, facebook.com/commandingyourlife. All right. I made sure everything was like that. Now, my name is Beverly Fells, F as in Frank, ELLS, Jones. And why do I do that is because there's lots of Beverly Joneses out there. So if you want to find me on Facebook, you look for Beverly Fells Jones. So I've got Facebook for Commanding Your Life and Facebook for me personally. And I welcome you on both of those. When you go to the website, you can find my Twitter links and all that. But, you connect with me on Facebook, connect with me here. And I'm getting ready to start my Blog Talk Radio show again in a couple of weeks. And that is called, guess what?
Commanding Your Life.
That's right. So everything. So even if you Google me, you Google Beverly Fells Jones, or you Google Commanding Your Life, and you'll find me. But at commandingyourlife.com, I have a free download for a meditation that teaches you how to visualize, because that's very important. And but when they go there, make sure they scan down, because there's a place to put your name and your email address. And I don't spam people. In fact, that folks say, "Oh, you don't send an email out." So I'll do that about once a month or once every month and a half. But when I do a blog, you'll get notified when I post a new blog, which is about every 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't bombard people, because I want the information you receive to be relevant and be things that will help you change and mold and create and become the best you could possibly become. In fact, you'll even surprise yourself how great you're going to become by learning these techniques and making those changes in your life.
All right. Well, this is Miss Beverly Jones, everybody, and I want to thank you for being here today and sharing about your book and you and everything else. And hopefully everyone will check out the book, because it sounds very interesting. And make sure you go and check out her websites, Blog Talk Radio, and everything else that she has mentioned in this interview. Thank you again, Ms. Beverly Jones.
Thank you.
You have a nice day.
Okay.